So without much further ado, let's start with this. Okay.
Yep, we'll do that.
Okay, in which case, let's just jump into this then. So I guess that I'll just go over the exercises.
Oh, sorry.
And
Can you make me co-host so I can let people in?
oh yes, let me do that. Make co-host.
Thank you.
Okie dokie. So 1.1, connecting to a virtual machine. So let me just share this. So connecting to a virtual machine. Does anyone have any problems with this? Literally just say in the chat, because I have a feeling that you kids don't like talking on camera. Does anyone have a problem with connecting to their virtual machine? If so, say now. Otherwise, I'll assume that you're good. Okay. Nope. Everyone's fine. Excellent. Okay, then the Unix commands line. So, did everyone finish this exercise? Cool. Yeah. No. Oh, stuck at step 4. Navigate into the document. What's the second word in sample.txt? Now, did anyone do question 4 or step 4? Okay, Joey, would you like to... Wait, Joey, does your microphone work? And can you screen share?
Yeah, yes, I did.
Okay, let's see this then. So you should be able to share your screen.
Wait, do I have to share my screen?
If you want, actually, yeah, ideally, yes. Unless, actually, shall I just demo it and you guys just yell out what commands I need to type? That will probably be a lot easier. I'll do it here. So I'll just go into my demo machine. Demo. Then password is okay. So the first question is, what is the full path to your current working directory? So basically what you need to do is you need to do the pwd command, and it gives you your current working directory. Is everyone happy with that? Use the little thumb reacts or whatever they have on Zoom. Everyone happy? Or is everyone unhappy? Yay, nay? Okay, right. Guys, just put your hands up then in Zoom if you're happy with pwd, which gives you the path to the working directory. Okay, cool. Then the second point is that you need to download that link and unzip it. Oh no, is it? Oh no, I need to create something with my name in it. So the way that you do that is mkdir, make directory, and then I can put my name, Peter. Cool. So now you can see that there's now a Peter directory inside my home directory. All good? Hands up if it's all good. Great. Justine gets it. Chai gets it. Excellent. I don't know why Chai has to get it, but sure. So what I'll do next is I'll go into my working directory, cd, and then what's the next thing? Step 3, copy. So I need to download the zip file. So what I'll do is wget, and I will type it. Okay, what's happening over here? Ah, it's because it's taken two lines. So let me just fix that by just copying the right link. Oops. So wget, and then this. Cool. And that should download the file, which is all good. Then I need to unzip it. So that's just unzip Unix exercise. And you need to install it. So I'll sudo apt install unzip, basically what it tells me to do. And that works, right? So now I have a Unix exercise directory. Does that make sense, everyone? Hands up if it's all cool. Lee, Farisa, okay, cool. So next bit we need, so inside our Unix exercise, so there should be a document. Ah, Justine, unzip it, it's all easy. So the next thing, once I get into the, I need to go into the Unix exercise like this. So inside my Unix exercise folder, what I have is I have two directories, the documents directory and the pictures directory. And inside this documents and pictures directory, I have, or inside the documents directory, I should have something called sample.txt. So sample.txt you can see over here. And what we want to do is we want to get the second word from sample.txt. So what this basically is asking is, how do I open the file sample.txt? And one of the easy way to do it is to just do is to type cat and then sample.txt. And you'll see that in this text file, the second word is me. Does that make sense to everyone? All good? Okay, I only see one hand up. That means it's not. Yes, cat is a command. You could also use something like more. So you can do more, and it should do the same thing. So sample.txt, and it will even give you the option to scroll through, right? And then another one you can do is V. So there are many ways to basically open your file. So here's another way to do it. And then you can use nano as well, which opens it up like this. Does that make sense, guys? All happy? It doesn't matter how you open the folder, or it doesn't matter how you open the file, as long as you open the file at some point, and it's all good. So what's the difference? So the difference is that cat just shows you the file, right? So this just opens the file. More will also just open the file, so it'll just print it out in front of you. However, you notice that this has a scrolly thing that allows you to scroll up, that allows you to scroll down, right? And then Nano and V are both text editors. So you can actually modify it, right? And if you want, you can save it. Does that make sense? Cool. So the next question that you guys are asked is, part 4, how many words are there in total? Well, one thing that you can do is you can just copy them into like a word counter, but there's actually a word counter in Linux, which if you Googled it, you'd see it. It's just WC, word count. And that would just be word count sample.txt. And it says there's 689 words. So this is lines, characters, words. All good? Or lines, words, characters. My bad. There shouldn't be more characters than words. Right, so part 5, or step 5. So it says inside my documents folder, there seems to be a happy.jpg. That's not right. Move happy.jpg into the pictures directory. So the way that I do that is I use the move command, which is mv, and I want to move happy.jpg, which is our current one, to the folder above. And the way that I specify the folder above is 2 dots. Right? So let's have a look. So now happy is gone, but if I go up, I can see, okay, it's now here. So now I need to move happy again into pictures. And now happy is gone, but if I go into pictures, so ls pictures, you'll see that now happy is sitting over here. All good? You can also one-shot it by just writing the full path to pictures. So the way that I can do that is I'll show it for the next problem. So that's part 5. So for part 6, it says, you may have also noticed that there's a video file in the documents folder. So let's go into documents again and look. Oh, look, there is a video. It's called circle.mp4. Unfortunately, we do not have a directory for storing videos. Create a videos directory and move circle.mp4 into it. So that's relatively straightforward. So that means we just need to go out of documents like this, and then create a videos file. So that's folder. So that's just mkdir again, videos. So you can now see that there's a videos directory. Now what I need to do is I need to use the move command to move the file from documents. So that will be documents, and what's inside the circle, and move that into videos. So videos. Cool. And now if I list the things inside videos, it should give me circle. Everyone's following now. Is everyone following? Okay, Java used copy and then remove. Yep, that also works, but moving is just one shot in it. However, if you're worried that you might I guess it might be safer to do copy and then RM, but it's going to be slower because you need to, what happens with move is it will, in most cases, what will happen is it will just change the thing that points to it in the file system rather than rewriting the entire file. So one of them, if you use copy, you're basically rewriting the entire file, which is potentially not the best thing to do, I guess. Actually, I'll need to check that. Take that with a grain of salt. So next thing, so step 7, in the documents directory, create a new file called hello.txt, saying the words hello world. So there are a couple ways of doing this. So I need to create a file called hello.txt, and I'm going to ask one of you to tell me which command to use to create the file. Does anyone want to volunteer? Stick your hand up if you want to volunteer with the solution. I have no idea because it just says 2 participants raised a hand. Lee, would you like to unmute and tell us what you found?
I think what I found was mkdir-p and then templates text cd.
T, right?
No, -p.
Oh, P. Then what did you type?
And the squiggly line and then /templates. and then slash text, and then CD.
Then
That
what?
right?
So like this.
CD.
CD. What did this do? No, I don't think so. This has basically created a. So what's happened here is that we've managed to create a file called templates, which is not what we want. And so what that's done, it looks like, is it's created a folder called templates and a folder called CD. So Unix, exercise, lscd, documents. So I don't think that it's the most sensible thing to do, to be honest. Okay, does anyone else have any ideas? Okay, so Lee says Gedit. So we need to install Gedit, and unfortunately, Gedit, I think, needs a. I think it needs an actual GUI. So I think that you actually need to have like a computer show for it to run it. Let's see what happens. But what Jawei says, Jawei, what did you say? Do you want to unmute and share your knowledge with the world? Okay, right. No, he doesn't want to unmute. He just says cat hello.text. And then hello world. And then what? And then Control D. Cool. So what's happened? Well, if I open it with hello dot, if I open hello text, it says hello world, right? But there are a couple of other ways that you can do it. So did anyone have a different way of doing it? So one way, obviously, is to just use a text editor. So let's just create hello1.text. I can do it like hello. And then I write it. And you can see that I've created hello1.text. And if I open it up, then, oops, hello1. It says that. Another way to do it is to just use echo, which is like the print statement. So if I type something like that, it will basically say it back at me like an echo. So I can do echo hello world, and then I can send that into a text file. So I'll use this little greater than symbol or arrow symbol, and I can do hello2.text, right? And then that's all good. Another thing that we can do, yeah, you can use nano. So you can do nano hello3.text, and you can type hello world and then exit, save. And we also have hello3.text. So as you can see, there are many ways to do it. Make sense? Cool. So another thing, it says using a single command. So number 8, using a single command, delete all the JPEG files inside the pictures directory. Well, I am more than happy to do that. So let's go into pictures, and then we need to delete the JPEG. So we'll just do rm, which is the delete command. And then we use a wildcard. So it's the star.jpg, and the star just means anything. Be very careful when you use the star because you can accidentally just delete everything. So after we do that, you can see that we've just deleted all of these files with the JPEG ending. And now all we have is Gridwald. All cool? Then step 9 says log out of the VM. Nice and easy. So I'm just going to type exit, and notice how at the moment it says I'm the user demo on the demo machine. Oops, that was a terrible mistake. Well, now when I exit, it says log out, and then it says my connection has been closed. All good. And then finally, so part 10 is using the scp command, download this folder, I mean this file. So this basically this one over here. So we're just going to, and if you don't know the syntax, just Google it, because I forgot the syntax when reading over this problem this morning. So it's very, very normal to Google it. So you scp it, you type scp, and then you do demo at, and what's your IP address? Well, it's the thing over here. So I'll just copy paste that. So copy, paste, and then what's our folder? So scp command syntax. I need to Google it again. Okay, right. So it's just the path to the file. So that would be home Peter Unix exercise pictures grid world 4x4 .png, and I want to copy it. I'll just copy it over here, and I need to type my password. Oh, and it says there's no such folder, which means I must have typed something wrong. Let's see. So demo home Peter Unix exercise pictures pictures. Then it should be grid world 4x4. So that is it .png? I'm just going to copy this over. Oh, so Lee got the same, or Jawei got the same error. Let's see how we can fix this then. Okay, so no such file or directory. That's very strange. Let's log back into this demo machine then. ls, so cd Peter Unix exercise pictures, and I'm just going to take the I'm going to get the actual like file name here, and I'm just going to, okay, so, oh, I see what happened. I need home demo Peter. You see, there's a slight difference. So you need to put the name of your group, I think. Okay, I typed my password wrong. Okay, cool, and it downloaded. So, Jawei, check your path. So now I have my stuff. Let's see, oh, actually, I might just open it. So let me open my screen share and whip this boy out. Okay, the image that you should get is this one. All good? Hands up if it's all good. Questions in the comments if it's not good. Okay, perfect. So that's basically the, okay, so that's basically the exercises for the command line done. So let's quickly jump onto the other stuff. So that's these ones done. Now Git. Everyone happy with Git? I think this was in the software engineering 1 course anyway. Is anyone unhappy with Git? That's the question. Say in the chat if you're unhappy with Git. Okay, perfect. So I guess everyone's been able to make a GitLab account. Put your hand up if you've made the GitLab account. Okay, so Adila and Justine, did you encounter any problems, or did you just not have time? Okay, right. Don't worry then. So I'd recommend that you guys quickly do this exercise in your groups, because you're going to be using Git a lot during the rest of this program. So finally, Python. Relatively straightforward. Did everyone wait, put your hand up if you managed to get through the Python exercises. Should just be a relatively quick recap. Okay, so Lee, did you do the Python? Okay, hands up then if you managed to do the Python. Anyone? Okay, so no one did the Python. So I guess the question is, do you want to go through it now, or do you want to just work on it on your own? Because, and just ask questions in the chat. So hands up for now, and I don't know, just say in the chat or something later if you, okay, now is fine. And does anyone else have any other opinions? Okay, so you guys want to do it now. So this is just a quick revision of Python then. Let me get out a Python editor so that we can even let's just quickly put something together then. So let me share. Okay, so where am I? Okay, so let's call this stuff.py or something to that effect. Great. Can everyone read at least like read the text? Is the text big enough? That's my question. So if I type this, can you guys see what I wrote? Okay, cool. So essentially we are asked 3 problems. They should be relatively simple, and if you can, open them up because I don't want to switch between windows. But the first question is write a function called count primes that counts prime numbers. So that should be relatively straightforward. Does anyone even want to like attempt a solution to this? I mean, you could just tell me what to write, or like even in like hand wavy terms, if you want. Does anyone want to unmute and give this a shot? Anyone? Okay, cool. So Java says count prime. Yeah, that's fine. And it takes in an argument of n, which is just a like your number. So Java, how do I count the prime numbers? So I think that so basically what we need to do is we need to check if it's divisible by anything else, right? Yep. So this basically, the thing is, it's supposed to tell us a list. So if I have put in the number n, then it needs to return the list of all of the prime numbers less than or equal to n. So that would basically be so that means that we basically need to first create a list. So let's just call it primes, and we'll create an empty list. Now, what we want to do is we want to check through all of the numbers and then say if they're prime. So that will be something like for I in range, I guess, 2 to n plus 1. So this is just a loop from 2 because we don't need to check 1 because we know that 1 is not a prime. And I guess we'll need to just check if it's prime. So I'll create a function later called isPrime. So if isPrime, and I'll say I, and I need to implement this function later, I can say something like primes.append I. And then that's all good. And I can say return primes, which now means I need to implement a function called def isPrime. And this should return whether or not the number is prime. So for the time being, I will do a relatively simple thing. Okay, so I mean, the easy one to do is we just need a for loop, right? And then we can do an if then else statement. So that will be something like if for I in range 2 to n, if n is divisible, so if n modulo I equals 0, then we return false, right? And then if it hasn't returned false after this loop has happened, then we return true. And now let's just write some driver code. So we'll just do count primes, and let's just choose a number like that. Okay, and if I run it, then, I need to print it. Print count primes. Let's see what I get. T357, great. Does that make sense, everyone? Is everyone happy with that? Okay, great. Now, the second question then is, can anyone think of how we can make this more efficient? So are there ways to... so this is the remainder. So Justine asks, why do we need this modulo operator to be 0? If we set I equals 0, would it mean... Yeah, so that is what the syntax means, Lee. But over here, what this basically is saying is that we're checking. So what we're saying is if n and then this percentage operator I. So it's like the plus sign or the minus sign. It's just another operator. And what this tells you is if what is the remainder when I divide n by I. And I'm saying if this remainder is equal to 0, then I return false. So if the remainder is equal to 0, that means that I divides n, right? And then that means that n is not a prime number because I divides it. So Lee says if we set I equals 0, it means that the I is 0, but double equals mean that if, yeah, so double equals is just checking whether or not it's the case. Right? So basically we check if I is divisible. So we go through all of the numbers and we check if any of those numbers divides n. And if that number divides n, then we say, nope, this is not a prime number. Otherwise, it's a prime number. But is there any way that we can make it more efficient, I guess? So I think Java has just sent a bunch of JavaScript. Yeah, excellent. Yeah, so one thing that can be done is you need to do this one. So essentially, you don't necessarily need to check whether or not it goes all the way up to n. What you need to check really is just the square root of n. So I'll put math.square root of n, and I'm just going to add 1 so that we also get the square root in case it's a decimal. And let's run that again. Oh, what's happening? I need to turn that into a ceiling. Math.ceil. So I need to round it to the nearest whole number, otherwise, or to the next highest whole number, otherwise it will cry. Okay, cool. But now there seems to be a problem that 2 isn't included. So first question is, why is that? And then the second question is, what are we going to do about it? Any ideas? Any ideas, guys? Oops, let's close this. Okay, so let's have a look at this then. So it says we're going to end up plugging in 2. So we're going to plug 2 into this is prime function, right? So that means that if we run is prime with 2, then what happens is that we have to loop from 2 to the ceiling of math.square root 2 plus 1. So the square root of 2 is 3. And we ceiling that. So we round it up. So the square root of 2 is 1 point whatever, 1.4. Then we add 1, that brings us to 2. And then we round it up, which brings us to 3. And we're going to check, okay. So 2 is divisible by 2. And we don't want that. Does that make sense? So it's this +1 thing. So let's remove this +1 thing, I guess. And let's see if that works. Okay, cool. We fixed this problem, but now we have this other problem, which is 9. So yeah, we're going to need this +1 thing. And what I guess we'll have to do is we'll just need to add a case for if n equals 2, then return true. I'm sure there's a more rigorous theoretical justification for this, but I'm not going to go into that. All chill? Now with the second problem, which is the matrix problem. So it says a saddle point is an element in a matrix such that it's the maximum of itself and it's two horizontally. Okay, this is just a big for loop. And so I'm going to skip this and let you guys do it in your own time. Then the next one, write a class with two methods, get circumference and get area. It's a circle class. Okay. So a circle class. So what we do with this is we need to create a class and we call it circle, right? And we're going to create a couple of things. So we need to say that we need to create the constructor. So that is def init. And it says we need to take the radius of the circle as an argument. So let's add the radius. Now, then the second bit is we need to say, we need to create a function called get circumference. And we need to create a function called def get area. So when we create this circle, we need to create these radius. So that's just self.radius equals radius. And then for get circumference, what do we do? What shall we write? Chat time. Time for your primary school math. What should we write? So yeah, the perimeter. So what is it for a circle? Yeah, cool. Well done, Justine. So it's just return 2 times pi, and let's import pi. So import math, and then we'll do math.pi. Cool, and then times the radius. So that will be self.radius. Right. I need to add self to these. So self. Then the second thing is get area. What do we need to do then for get area? Can someone type the, yep. So that's exactly right, Lee. So we need to return math.pi times self.radius, and then we need to bring it to the power of 2. And the way that we do that is with this double star notation, right? In Python, like this. So now let's create a circle. So I'm going to just create some driver code. So I'm going to say circle, C is the circle, and what radius shall we have? Let's make it 1, because that makes it easier to check the math, because we know that pi is around 3.1, and then that means that the radius, so the circumference should be 2 times pi, basically 2 times pi, which is like 6.2, and so on. So let's just print c.get circumference, and then we print c.get area. And we need to treat them as functions. Right, so I'm just going to quickly run this and see what we get. So 6.28, that's roughly right, and 3.14, that's pi r squared. Cool. Makes sense? Everyone happy with this, like primary school math? Good, because I'd be worried if it didn't. Right, and that's basically today's exercise is done. So quick, honest question time, and I'm going to stop the recording for this. Resume the recording, because I'm going to resume the recording because this is like question and answer stuff. So Linux is not machine code. Yeah. No, it's an operating system. Oh, it was Ubuntu. Yes, that is Ubuntu. So Ubuntu is just a type of Linux. It's a distribution of Linux. So Linux is like the underlying, like low-level stuff, and then people build things on top of it. So there's a couple. You've got Kali Linux, OK Hacker, and yeah. Any others? So yeah. So for the rest of this course, we're going to be looking at a couple of things. Basically, all of the fun stuff in industry. It's all the stuff that basically a lot of people hate because they aren't taught it. So we're going to look at software testing and how to make it like actual good tests. We're going to look at containerization. So that's Docker and stuff. Have any of you heard of that even? Yay, no, okay. Well, you guys are in for a fun time. You're going to basically learn how to set up your stuff. Container widgets. Okay, then we're going to look at continuous integration and continuous delivery, which is basically how we push updates and make sure that the updates that we make to software and websites don't crash the website. Like, have you ever, like, your favorite websites, do you often see them go down because some idiot accidentally uploaded a change to the code that broke the website? The answer is probably not. And the reason is because they use these practices, most likely. And also because they're competent. Does that make sense, everyone? Okay, cool. So I am going to send the next round of exercises, like right now. And essentially, I would like you guys to at least try to do them before tomorrow's like chat. Tomorrow's like, what's it called? Q&A session, right? Do you think that you can do them? The workload is going to be approximately the same as this. Okay, great. It is going to be in Python though. So I apologize to those of you who do not know Python, but it basically looks the same as all of the other languages that you kids do at school. So tomorrow's the vaccination. Okay, yeah, fine. I mean, don't push your luck with like not dying. And yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to stop the recording now. Is everyone happy? No one wants to drop out yet.